Today, we're going to talk about using the Galaxy J3 2016, J3 Soul Cricket, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But it's called the Galaxy Soul. But you can call it the J3 2016 Cricket, or whatever the fuck you want to call it in general. Whatever the fuck, J3 2016, J3 Cricket, J3 Soul, whatever the fuck you want to call it, this thing. Do I recommend using this in 2023? Fuck no. Hold on, I have to put in my password real quick. But do I recommend using this thing in 2023? Fuck no. Because A, if your memory gets full, the only way to bypass the warning on the gallery, because it has 8 gigabytes of memory. So the only way to bypass the gallery full warning is to reset this phone back to factory default and hope everything don't update in the background. It's a really good phone with an AMOLED display and all that. It's only good for an iPod, or if you want to get it connected to a line for your grandma. But I still would have given it to your grandma in 2023 because it's 8 gigabytes and you only have a little bit of storage in this thing. So let's talk about storage wise. Storage on this phone is 8 gigabytes. And if that fills up so fast, the only way to bypass the storage full warning is to factory reset this phone and hope everything will update and have a lot of photos or apps in the background running. That's the only way you can bypass the app. That's the only way you can bypass the storage warning thing. It's to factory reset this thing back to factory default and hope everything don't update on this thing. It's actually a good phone with an AMOLED display. Like, this phone is really good with an AMOLED display. I like the quality on it, and it has a removable battery, so if the battery blows or gives out, you can just remove the battery and put it back in. But for the average user, I don't kind of recommend it because if the 8 gigabytes of the internal storage gets full so quick, then that's when you're fucked. Like I said before, the only way to bypass the storage full warning thing on this thing is to factory reset and hope everything will update. Other than that, for its price point, for $30, not bad. It's not that bad to get this phone used for $30, only if you're using it as an iPod Touch or a video player phone or anything like that. Now, would I quite recommend it for gaming? Hell to the no. I don't quite recommend it for gaming because this thing is just so slow. I'm lucky I'm able to use this thing without having to freeze every second, but that can change at any given moment. So do I quite recommend using this phone in 2023? Hold on. Sorry, I don't want to show my password to people. But it's good. It's good if you're using it as an iPod or a video player phone. That's the only thing it's good for. Maybe to connect it to any cellular network, maybe it'll work depending on your carrier and if the phone is also unlocked to any carrier too. Depending on your phone carrier, it can be used as that too as a phone, depending on your carrier and if the device is unlocked. But this phone right here that I have is not unlocked. It's Cricket locked. It's Cricket locked and you can't use it through any carrier. But if you can find a Galaxy J3 Soul that's unlocked to any carrier, then that's good for you. But finding this phone is hard because I have to go on eBay and look up shitloads of stuff to get this phone in great condition. If you find a phone like this, it's probably going to be cracked or not working, or passcode locked, or Samsung locked, or anything like that. But for this phone at 2016, it was ahead of its time. This phone was ahead of its time in 2016. I wish I had this phone in 2016 when it came out, because this phone was ahead of its time. Using it in 2023, I don't recommend, just because it's storage wise. But you can put an SD card in it to expand the storage. You can put an SD card to expand the storage. Now, if you want to give this to your little kid or your little toddler, if by any means necessary, go ahead. Then I will recommend. The only thing I would recommend with this phone is if you're giving it to your toddler or your grandma. But make sure you put an SD card in it because it's not going to work with the 8 gigs of storage. So make sure you put an SD card in it if you're giving it to your grandma, elderly person, or your kid. Make sure you put an SD card in it because it will not work. All bullshit aside from that, that's it. And that's the Galaxy J3 Soul 2023 review.